Lamborghini 350 GTV, The First Step Towards Glory. By Pablo Briojos. When Lamborghini decided to challenge Ferrari in the supercar space, it needed not only performance and power, but also top-notch quality. That's why the Italians from Santo Agata's first creation as an automaker was a Grand Tourer with no less than 370 horsepower, which they named the 350 GTV. It was still a prototype, but it soon emerged that the first production Lamborghini in history, the 400 GT, was based entirely on it. Although Lamborghini is now best known for its supercar brand, the truth is that its first steps were towards a different philosophy, especially in the form of luxury Grand Tourers, namely the 350 and 400 GT. Additionally, it is sold as a 4-seat option in a 2+2 configuration. Derived from the first high-flying prototype, the model was designed to improve on those numbers and, most importantly, humiliate Ferrari. The story between Lamborghini and Ferrari is well known. Legend has it that the former was a successful agricultural businessman who joined Ferrari after his brand new red sports car broke down. Following his complaint, Enzo Ferrari not only said he knew nothing about cars, but he also referred to his rural origins, tractor building to be exact, and told him to mind his own business. Ferruccio Lamborghini has a personality only Enzo himself can surpass, so he sees it as a personal insult, neither short nor lazy, and decides to create his own sports car brand with the aim of humiliating Ferrari, who once disrespected him. The first step was taken in early 1963. When Ferruccio hired such big names as John Paolo Dallara, Giotto Bizzarini who had just left Ferrari, Paolo Stanzani and driver and engineer Bob Wallace. Bizzarini designed a tubular chassis straight from the race, to which he combined the already legendary 3.5-litre V12 engine. As the brand still uses the current version directly derived from these mechanics, the original mechanic was built in 2009. The year Murcielago LP 670 SV is not inferior. Its displacement also indicated the prototype's name, 350 GTV, Grand Tourer Veloce. Its internal 60-degree design and dough already surpass Ferrari in sophistication because their engine has only one camshaft. Output is no less than 370 horsepower at 9,000 revolutions per minute, although Bizzarini claims that figure can be boosted to 400 with an improved fuel system. The body, meanwhile, was designed by Franco Scaglione, the master designer responsible for the Alfa Romeo 33 Stradale, who gave it rounded lines without being ostentatious, in contrast to the wedge-shaped design sought a few years later by Contax Become. On top of that, deformable parallel springs are mounted on the axles and brake discs of all four wheels. The car was ready to be shown at the 1963 Turin Motor Show. Although it wasn't a working prototype, the hood wasn't fully closed due to the huge vertical carburetor chosen for the mechanics. So it was decided to show it separately and fill the engine bay with ceramic tiles to balance the overall weight. At the same time, his team worked to civilize the car and adapt it to production standards. Dallara rebuilt the chassis into one that was less complicated to make and worked with Paolo Stanzani to lower the mechanical compression ratio, replace the racing carburetor and install a wet sump to bring the power down to 285 horsepower at 6,500 revolutions per minute. Still, he was 45 more than the Ferrari 250 GT. The bodywork has also been revised, this time for the Carrozzeria Touring. All the changes contributed to the 350 GT, the first production Lamborghini in history. How did the 350 GTV turn out? After being shown in Turin, the car was stored until the mid-1980s, when two enthusiastic brand owners at a car dealership persuaded the brand to sell it to them, promising to make it fully functional. Years later, the model was sold to Isaunori Take, a Japanese collector and chairman of the country's Lamborghini Club, who displayed it in his museum. After the brand's factory makeover and exhibition makeover, the car returned to its homeland to be shown alongside other unique prototypes, albeit with a color change from blue-gray to green. And, if you're curious about the value of this car, no one has a clear idea of how much it might have cost at the time. Our next thought came from the Hagerty portal, which in 2013 estimated the retail value of the 350 GTV to be between $3 million and $5 million, if it ever went to auction.